much again for tuning in. My name is Debra Wold, and I'm so pleased to have Stuart Turley from Energy Newsweek. He is my co-host, and we are honored to have you. Thank you so much, Stuart.
Well, thanks for letting me pop in today. I am so excited about Trash to Treasure. And Debra, for your listeners, you have been a hit on the Energy Newsbeat. You are a rock star. So thank you for letting me just stop in.
Oh, it is my honor, and I'm so grateful to have you. Stuart, you have so much insight and understanding about the natural resources, oil, gas, all of those spaces, and it marries perfectly with what we're going to be talking about today. I want to share with you a little bit about where we want to take this podcast, Trash to Treasure. We're going to start out about what our vision is. What if you could envision a world, Stuart, where all the trash that is being transported through landfills and to transfer stations in our backyard could be turned into products like low-cost electricity and low-cost fuel? What kind of world would we live in? There would be no more trash building up in the oceans. There would be no more trash building up in our landfills. Our children would not have to deal with the toxins that come from all this trash. But yet, our reserves would be filled with proper fuel. We would be working with the oil companies and the gas companies. Everybody could work together in a utopia, we would think. But there is a way of making this happen, right? We don't have rainbows and unicorns, but we do have trash. And people don't understand that trash really is treasure. What's your thoughts on that, Stuart?
I'm going to use that quote. We don't have rainbows and unicorns, but we have trash. Holy smokes, Debra, what a great line.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And taking trash to treasure, but as you and I have talked, trash to treasure could be your plastic water bottles, but it could also be your personal feelings, and it could be your college campus, right?
Oh, absolutely. So, in regards to that, what's happening right now, trash is in so many different forms. It's ideology. And what we're doing is we're taking trash and we're turning it into something that is beneficial. Why are landfills beneficial? Because that's all we know, right? But they're not beneficial. Why are schools being told to do certain things, teach our children certain things? But that's not always beneficial. The thing about trash can come in many different forms. And what we're talking about today specifically is going to be the trash that's out there in our backyard. Plastics, tires, construction waste, municipal solid waste, food waste, things like that. All those are valuable to someone like us because we got the technology partner who knows how to transform that into beautiful treasure at a low cost.
Debra, one of the things that you were just a rock star on my show is that it's been over a year and you're still in one of our top producing listened episodes, which is so cool. Because your excitement and knowledge of taking renewable energy, let's take renewable natural gas, let's take treasure in the landfills. How many cities or states need money in order to function? Oh, let's turn revenue, trash into revenue for cities.
Exactly. And that's the key thing that we're talking about right now. Like you stated very clearly, how many municipalities, how many counties, how many towns have trash? What is it, 7 pounds per person per year, something along that line? All that trash that's collected can be turned into something beneficial for the community. It's going to be helping in so many ways. It produces a revenue, and we're not hurting the hauling companies at all. God bless the hauling companies. I don't want to haul trash in my car, to some location. Hauling companies have a purpose and a reason. They are beneficial. So we're not trying to come against the hauling companies.
The hauling companies, as you described, Debra, are the trash companies out of The Sopranos. Is that right?
Well, let us say yes, so. Yes.
Okay. I just get it because trash companies are important.
They're extremely important. They're like the middleman, let us say, right? They pick it up from us. They're the middleman. They transport it to the next location. And they also provide jobs for the union, too. So there's a benefit. Got to put food on the table. Everybody has to. But what if that trash wasn't going to an empty, old, nasty little landfill or big landfill, right? And that trash is going into a facility that can be processed through, and you can get green electricity, sustainable, long-term green electricity. And you could also get low sulfur fuels, low cost fuels.
Wow.
And the beautiful thing is municipalities, counties, and towns, they can all participate in that because they've got the landfills in their backyard.
Right.
All we need is for politicians and people, our patrons, to see the value add in this technology. And it's not something that's new. Fisher Trough technology has been around for decades, since World War II.
Right.
That's what they did. They took coal and they burned it and they put fuel in tanks.
This sounds too good to be true, Deborah.
We hear that all the time. But see, the thing is this. The brilliant person who patented the process. Technology's always been around for a long, long, long time, just like incineration, 60, 70 years. But the man who went behind the curtain and took the time to get the process patent, that's the key. He is the man behind the curtain with the golden key. And the beautiful thing about him, we're going to be having him on a podcast. We're going to probably be having a series of him coming on the podcast and talking about his technology. And we're going to be promoting his technology. And that's what we do. We go around and we talk to individuals, municipalities, counties, you name it. And we say, there's an alternative to landfills. And we want to partner. Mm-hmm.
How far reaching is this? Because one of my biggest heartburns with the renewable space right now is the inability of recycling solar panels or recycling windmills or anything else. How far wide? Because we know trash, when you burn trash, you got to capture it in a brute force. Is that the way to describe that? Brute force is burning it?
No.
No, bad.
That's incineration.
Right.
Incineration is at mass heat balance with a 2,000 Fahrenheit degrees, something like that, right?
Right.
This is different. This is breaking the molecules apart. That's where I'm going to have the patent holder talk about his technology. He did it so it's zero emission, zero carbon footprint.
Nice.
And when it's going through that process, you don't need these monster scrubbers, right? You need a simple system that's put in place. Let's talk about those windmills. What are in those windmills? Those blades have what? Fiber, I can't remember the word right now, but they have different elements in there that are carbon-based, right?
Right.
All you got to do is put them in a crusher, cut them down to size, stuck them in the crusher, and we can use that. Anything that's carbon-based can be made fuel out of.
You can recycle windmill blades.
Yes. I cannot remember the word. I'll have to write that down sometime.
Wow. That is huge, because that is one of the biggest things, besides killing of eagles, killing of bats, killing of whales. They are not recyclable. And when you're trying to do the land reclamation, which is a huge hot button,
right?
We've got landfills of these things that are coming around. This is huge.
It is. And see, that's the problem. We always are trying to bury a problem, right? Nobody wants to come up with a solution. And this man did. I mean, okay, trash. What do we do with our trash? We can burn it, incinerate it, but then all these toxins come out of that.
Right.
Bad idea. Well, it was a good idea at first, but then it turned bad. Okay, we burn it to make electricity. Okay, they're doing that in other countries. We do it here.
Right.
But here's the thing that gets me, Stuart.
What's that?
It goes back to our children. We are not allowing creativity, new ideas to be projected into what's happening now. Everybody's like status quo. We only know this. We only know that. Oh, that can't happen. That's impossible, right? We've stifled ourselves into being creative, having ideas and thoughts outside of the norm, thinking outside of the box, for heaven's sakes.
Wow.
This is what we got to get back to. This is what this man did. He said, I've got all the knowledge. I know that this technology exists, right?
Right.
There's a gasification. It's been around for decades. But I'm going to take it a step farther. Right. I'm going to build the Ford engine. I'm going to take this patent here, put it together. Then I'm going to patent the whole entire Ford engine and make it mine.
Right.
That's what he did. They patent the process.
Wow. This is pretty darn cool. And one of the biggest resounding pieces of feedback from your podcast interviews over a year ago was the fact that it is market ready, profitable without subsidies. What?
It's the thing, Stuart. See, why are we subsidizing? Let's say you're in university students. Let's pay for their college. Why subsidize them? You go to college to learn. You learn a skill, you learn a talent, you learn something, right?
Right.
Why do we, the people, have to subsidize you? Get out there and work for yourselves. If a market does not, okay, my philosophy has always been this. When you're in the market and you come up with an idea or invention, whatever it is,
right.
Throw it in the market. And if the market, meaning the people, like it, they're going to buy it. And it will be successful based upon its own merits.
Right.
But if you have to be subsidized, you have to be lifted up because it's really bad things that you're making, right?
Right.
Then why would someone buy it? It's like the Chinese stuff, no disrespect towards them, but the junk you buy at dollar store, it breaks within 10 seconds.
Wow.
Why buy it, right? I want something that is not subsidized because I know that I will see that the market is what makes the decision whether it's successful or not. Not subsidies, which are under government. Go ahead.
So your whole podcast is going to be about taking trash to treasure.
Yep.
Trash to treasure can be broken windmills. Trash can be broken lives.
Yeah, you betcha.
You and I have had some fabulous conversations about broken lives, faith. So you can take broken lives and faith.
Yep.
And we've also got things like homeschooling and schools and universities. So any trash can be taken to a treasure. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. One of the things we're changing my daughter's homeschool program. And the reason why, I'm tired of her being, forced to accept the non-norm. I'm sorry, solar, wind, hydrothermal, they're not the name of the game. What about nuclear? What about natural gas? I mean, why are they being forced on this curriculum when they shouldn't be? And why are we putting them behind a desk for 8 hours a day? Put them in a prison, for heaven's sakes. The other thing I read a book, they were saying that when a child spends more than 4 hours behind a computer, their brain becomes tunnel vision. They can't have a vision outside. So what happens is you've got kids behind the desk for 8 hours. Now they get computers, right? And they're 8 hours of computer. So we're putting our children in prison. Don't look out that window and see, oh, wow, it's a beautiful sky. I wonder if one day I'll be able to fly an airplane or whatever it may be, whatever invention we can come up with.
Right.
We're hurting our children from having any ideals for the future. And there's a few people at the top who are saying, you do this, you do that, you'll get subsidized here if you obey the rules.
Right.
Well, wash my hands of that, my friend. We're going to bring back the homeschool programs in a way where they're getting proper curriculum on energy and on gas and how this world should function. That's my vision.
I think for one of your podcasts, you need to interview Mike Rowe.
Okay.
I think Mike Rowe would be absolute, because he is such a class act in trying to get young people to jobs. Mm-hmm. I think he would be a phenomenal person for you to interview.
I love that because we're not giving our children the space. Like I asked my daughter last night, we were reading this book.
Right.
I said, honey, are you great at math? She says, no. But if I don't do math the way they want me to do math, they'll fail me. I said, well, what's failure? You should never be failed because as long as you try, you're succeeding. Not a participation trophy, but she has a gift of photography. She has taken pictures of churches and outside, and people are posting them on their websites because she's that good. And she was like 10, 11 years old when she was doing it.
Isn't that great?
And I said, well, then go do it. Here's a camera. Be free, We stop the car sometimes and we're traveling. She's like, she'll look in the sky and she'll put this imagery together. And when she's done, it's miraculous. It's like, huh? But that's the gift that she's been given, and that's what she needs to grow with.
When I'm older than Moses and I are buddies, by the way. when I went to high school, I got the ability to go through wood shop, welding, photography, and thoroughly enjoyed all the photography and everything else. The New York schools were so good that I didn't have to even study the first 2 years while I was at Oklahoma State. And so there were some really good things. And it's a shame that the public school systems have not gone that way.
Well, the interesting thing about this book, the gentleman says teachers are not trained. The ideology that they have now, that's not what they learned in school. Right. Point two, they're babysitting. They've got people coming in that have no manners, no discipline, no nothing. So you got a class of 30 kids, right? The teachers are more babysitters than they are actually doing their job. There's a few students that percolate throughout there that possibly want to learn, but how can you learn when you got several students out here screaming and yelling and having fits because they don't want to do anything? And then you have the entitles, and then you have the trophy people that want everybody participation trophy. They're more like running a circus than they are in the classrooms, than they are on, what they've been taught. And a lot of my friends are like, I can't do this anymore. They're getting out.
Right.
And what I'm telling them is like, go into the homeschools, start writing curriculum. Start going after that, because parents are now stepping to the plate and saying, enough. Mm-hmm. My child's being traumatized because they're not allowed to learn. They're being put in a situation where they're kind of being forced to do things they don't want to do or say stupid things they don't want to say.
Right.
And the thing is that now the homeschooling gives them an opportunity to 1-on-1 or 5-on-1, whatever the situation may be, right. And they can learn better.
So, trash to treasure means not only trash in waste plastic bottles, manure, it means also personal life. It means also processes in society. Boy, this opens up a whole wild west. How do we call this? Because your website, GreneLily.com, mm-hmm. How do we go from, trash to treasure to solving the world's problems?
Well, think about GreneLily, right? They sit on a lily pad.
Right.
And sometimes lilies, actually, those kind of lilies, there's over 1,000 different lilies, number one.
Yep.
And when they sit on the lily pad, they absorb the bacteria and everything else around them. And it goes into the pad, but not the lily. The lily always stays pure and white on the top.
Oh.
So kind of like a filter, yeah. So a lot of times in different countries like Asia, they'll have different lily pads all over the place. And they'll use them to absorb the bacteria and all the different elements that are in that are not healthy. But the lily is strong enough, its endurance level, to be able to filter everything.
Wow.
The water would be where it sits upon the purity, right? It can be God, it can be your Holy Spirit, it can be whatever. And the lily represents purity. So in essence, our company comes in, whether it's with trash, this is all coming to my mind, thank God, whether it's with politics or whether it's with children, whether it's with the narrative going on nowadays, and sucks up the impurities and takes all that nastiness out so that the water becomes clear and we can think again. We've got to have clear mind and clear thought process, because we're not able to do it when we're clustered, right?
Right.
A family situation. It's like toxins in the water, and you're like trying to figure it out. Pop a lily on top of that thing, on that lily pad,
right,
and let it absorb the toxins. But the lily still stands firm. And when the water has been purified, you're able to see things clearly.
Boy, that suddenly makes a lot of sense.
Oh my God, big lily.
Well, for episode number 1, I sure had a lot of fun.
Me too. Thank you.
Well, this is your show.
Oh, yes. Stuart, thank you so much for stopping by. It was a pleasure talking with you. We always walk away having fun, have a couple giggles here and there, but also, too, we learn a lot from each other. Like iron sharpens iron, so we're learning from each other.
Absolutely. I look forward to the next episode.
Me too. Thank you again, Stuart. Have a wonderful day.